And after Gnothi Seafton, know thyself, we can advance to what I consider the second and third most important Delphic maxims. And I combine them because they mean generally the same thing, although the choice of words makes all the difference because in language, as we all know, the choice of words makes a nuanced difference, and how we approach the definition of words determines the consequences, our understanding of them. So the second most important Delphic maxim, in my view, is miden agan, which in English generally means nothing in excess. The concept is expressed through two words, miden and agan. And if we look closer to the word miden, it is comprised of two different words as well. Me, then, or mid-en, not even one, not one, which is a way of saying nothing or no thing. And the second word is agan, which has the flavor of size, of mass, and it means a lot, excessive. So in combination, the concept being transmitted here is nothing in excess. The term then is also a word in Greek that means nil or zero. Miden, not one. And of course, like I said, the other way of saying the same thing, although slightly differently, is metron ariston, which translates into measure is excellence. Some people use the add to this concept the pan metron ariston, all measure is excellence, but the two words suffice. Metron ariston is comprised of two words. Metron, which means to receive a share of, to take care of, to consider. It's from the Proto-Indo-European term me, which means to count. The second part of the concept is ariston, which means a degree of virtue. And both these concepts have to do with the ancient idea of sophrosini. Sophrosini is also, like many Greek words, a compound word made up of so and phrena. So meaning to be complete, to be healthy, sos, to be safe. And phrin, which refers to the intellect, the brain, to virtue, to be complete in your virtue. All these concepts can be summed up in a motto: live lightly. And this has to do not only with the consumption of food, alcohol, sex, pleasure, but it also has to do with everything, including relationships. That is counter to the American more is better, and the ancient traditions that go back to Indo-European wisdoms, less is more. Less in that you have less cares, less stress. And this allows you to turn inward upon yourself and to work upon yourself and to cultivate yourself. which brings us to know thyself, gnothi seafton. And all three of these concepts have to do with Hellenic asceticism, which is not like Abrahamic or Buddhist asceticism, which I define as spiritual nihilism, all three of them. Buddhism is to Hinduism what Abrahamism, all three of the Abrahamic traditions, Islam, the younger one, Christianity, the bigger sister, and Judaism, the mother, who was impregnated by a Hellenic, a masculine ideology, which we trace back to Plato. In these nihilistic traditions, the denial of the self, the stress, is the goal, is the end. Whereas in Hellenism, it is a means to an end. And the end is the ariston, excellence. This is how we can differentiate nihilistic dogmas, whether they are spiritual or secular, from realistic. That is, self-abnegation, self-negation, self-restriction is not an end in itself. This is nihilistic. It is a means to an end, whatever this end might be. Like I said, all value judgments are triangulations between the subject and its objective. And for this reason, in ancient Greek, ascesis, or the ascetic, is the same word they use for exercise. In both cases, what is occurring is the mind and the body is being habituated to stress, to endure more stress, to be more tolerant of stress, which eventually leads to clarity, because stress is distracting. Stress is corrupting, like anxiety, like fear, like pain and suffering. So the more stress you can endure, the more you increase your tolerance levels. That means the more stronger you become, the more clear-headed you become. And this is the advancement from the first person to the second person projections, and then to the third person, the divine perspective, which is objectivity. And the goal is to approach objectivity as far as we can endure, as far as our tolerance levels allow us. And this is what they mean by excellence. Because as I've noted elsewhere, and multiple times, objectivity exposes us to a new source of anxiety and stress. A source no other known species can experience. This is why objectivity is so hard to attain, and few have managed to attain it, and those that have are acknowledged as wise men and women, because all living beings, their primary, their instinctive, their primal first objective is survival, and propagation is just another way of surviving. And only one species, man, and not all men, but only one individuals born of one species that we know of can place something above even survival. This is why self-deceit is so prevalent is so ubiquitous. Because self-deceit, what does it do? It's a defensive mechanism. It protects the conscious, uh, the self becoming conscious of itself, which I call it the ego, just to differentiate it from the unconscious self. I'm not using Freudian or Jungian terminologies here. I'm using my own. So the ego, in my worldview, is that which is becoming conscious of itself. In order to protect this ego, self-deceit is the perfect mechanism, because in nature, the truth is not the objective. The objective is survival. This is why a prerequisite to objectivity and to wisdom in general is to able to transcend this primary objective of survival, and to place clarity above it. In other words, the truth, the objective truth. And this is why many famous philosophers never married, that is, they never reproduced, and many of them suffered due to this placing of truth above even their own survival. Some of them even went mad. Because even in this case, the maxim still holds. Then, too much awareness can also be destructive.